Welcome back, everyone. At the end of the last video, we discovered our very first major bug, the infinite jump. As developers, a huge part of our job is to analyze and solve program errors. The program is doing exactly what we told it to do, jumping whenever we press the spacebar. To fix this, we need to draw an invisible sensor at our player's feet. If that sensor is touching the floor, they can jump. If it's in the air, the jump button is ignored. So, let's build our ground detector. By the end of this video, you should be able to create an empty child object and use the transform component, create and assign Unity layers, create variables for transform, LayerMask, and booleans, be able to use physics 2D.overlap circle to detect collisions, and apply common programming statements to implement flow control with the $& operator. First, we need a physical point in space to act as the center of our sensor. Right-click directly on your player object in the hierarchy and go to Create Empty. This creates a child object that will move wherever the player moves. Let's name it GroundCheck. Right now, this empty point is sitting in the middle of our character's chest. We need to utilize the transform tools and the transform component in the inspector to move it down. Go ahead and press W as the shortcut, and we're going to drag this down until the y-axis until the point sits perfectly at the bottom of our player's feet. Now I do see that our player is a little off center, so we need to fix that for some reason. So let's go ahead here and grab our ground check. There we go. Next, we need to talk about layers. Right now, Unity doesn't know the difference between the player, a coin, or the floor. They are all just physical objects. We need to categorize the floor. Go to the top right of the editor and click on the Layers dropdown and select Add Layer. Type ground into the first empty slot. Now the engine has a category for the floor. To actually use it, we need to click on our square that we made the floor. Let me go ahead and rename this floor. In our hierarchy, and then come over here to the layer, and then select ground. So open up your player controller script, and we're going to type in a few variables. I'm going to paste them. You're going to type them. We have our public transform ground check. We have our layer mask, which we named ground layer, and then we have a boolean, which is going to be called is grounded. So what these are going to do, right? The ground check is so that we know where the feet are. The layer mask, so we know what layer to look for. And finally, the bool is simply a box that can only know the words true or false. So if the player is grounded, it's going to be true. If he's not, it's going to be false. Next, we're going to scroll down to our update method, and right above the jump code, we're going to type in some code. Let me get it here for you. And so this is where all the magic's going to happen. Right now, what this line is going to do is it's telling Unity to draw an invisible circle around our player's feet position. We're going to give it a tiny radius of 0.2 and check if it touches the ground layer. If it does, then is grounded becomes true, but if it doesn't, it becomes false. Next, we're going to apply some common programming statements to implement some flow control. Let's look at our if statement. Right now, it only asks one question. Did they press the jump button? Or in this case, the space bar. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to add the AND operator to it, and is grounded. So it's going to say, did the player press the spacebar, and is the player grounded? Now the computer will only run this code if the spacebar is pressed and we're currently touching the floor. Securing our logic in place, and preventing that infinite jump. So, alright, save your code, head back into Unity. Once it's done compiling, we have a few public variables that are waiting for us in the inspector, so let's connect those wires. First, let's drag our ground check down here into this ground check space, and for our ground layer, we're going to choose ground. Now, let's go ahead and press play and test it out. Now, go ahead and jump up and smash that space bar. Look at that. You can only jump once when your feet are on the ground. We have successfully squashed our first bug. In the next video, we're moving out of the prototype phase and learning how to use Unity's tile map system to actually paint a full, beautiful level. Keep learning, keep building. I'll see you in the next video.